Hello, my name is Jess. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about my likes and dislikes for living in Florida and what I recommend it. So let's get into the video. I want to first apologize that the groundskeepers are mowing the yard right now at my campground and the lighting isn't the best. I'm using natural lighting. But yeah, and I want to apologize. It's been so long since I posted. There's been a lot going on in my life, and also I got a new hairdo. I bleached it myself at home, so that's why it looks a little crazy. But yeah, today's video, I want to speak about my experiences in Florida, and this will also be a get ready with me video. While I am talking about my likes and dislikes and spill all the tea on what living in Florida is actually like for someone who grew up in a different state their whole life. Alright, so a little bit of my backstory of how I ended up in Florida. So, me and my husband, we decided to come to Orlando, Florida for school, because he got some schooling through the VA. So we moved down to Florida, and it only was going to be a year, so I wasn't going to be down here long, but there was a possibility of us staying longer. But we did decide to go ahead and get out of here after being here for a year. And originally I am from Kentucky, so coming to Florida it definitely was a change when it comes to like the humidity. So the first thing is I do like that it's summer here year round, except for like 2 months out of the year it was super cold down here where it was winter. We had actually wear like jackets, and that was pretty crazy because you're like, I was swimming up until like December. So that's one thing I liked about Florida, was that it was like summer all year around, which has to be an adjustment going back to Kentucky and dealing with seasons again, but I'm excited. But also with the humidity, you gotta be in your house by 8 o'clock. I have a pet mini pig, and when we do his walks at night, do them like in the afternoon. So when the sun's not up in the air, like super hot. So it's about 100 degrees here constantly. And so I try to walk when the sun's going down. But you gotta watch out, because if the sun starts going down around 8 o'clock, all the mosquitoes in life will come out. And mosquitoes are like Florida's state bird. They are huge. They hurt when they bite you. And mind you, I never got bit in Kentucky. I never had that issue. It was really rare if I was bitten. So that was something I never dealt with. Like my husband, though, on the other hand, even in Kentucky, he always got ate up by mosquitoes. And I never knew what that was like. I was really lucky until living down here, and they swarm me. Like one time, I had 10 mosquitoes on each arm, on my legs. You're getting eaten alive, and it hurts. Like you feel them stabbing into you and drinking all your blood, and it's kind of gross, because I'm surprised I have not got like a disease, because mosquitoes carry diseases, and I don't know how I'm not disease ridden from being eaten up on a nightly basis. And so that's something I really hate, and I hate it so much to the point of I used to want to live in Florida, and I think that alone is a no for me. I couldn't imagine dealing with that every night. Like, it's like you have to get inside the house. It's like, I feel like it's like living back in the day where, you know, you stop working when the sun goes down and everyone's just inside minding their own business at night. You have to go in to survive. Also, what's interesting too is I've seen alligators. I love alligators. Gatorland's one of my favorite things to do down here. But I've actually seen a wild gator at the campsite. And that was kind of crazy. Something like you don't really think about it, but it's normal for people in Florida to see gators. But it's crazy when you're like, taking your animal for a walk and then next thing you know there's a gator over there. Mind you, it was a little baby gator, but I mean, only imagine if it was like a mama gator. That's some scary stuff. And you hear stories though of people like animals getting eaten, and I could not live through that. So that's something I'll be glad to get back to Kentucky and not have to worry about, at least gators near your home. So that's pretty interesting. But that's also one thing I love about Florida is the wildlife here is so pretty. There's a bunch of cranes that cross the street. There's I'll call them, I think it's ibis, the IBIS. They're Egyptian birds, but there's some in Florida. And like, that's pretty cool. Like and seeing the cranes, because sometimes it will cross the road and you have to wait for them. Like in Kentucky, the most is the ducks are crossing the road. So that's pretty neat. So I like the wildlife here. The vegetation here is really pretty. I like the idea of seeing like palm trees all the time. That's pretty cool. And of course the beaches are amazing, because that's another benefit of living in Orlando, is the fact that you're an hour away from Tampa or Daytona, and Daytona's my favorite beach. I love it over there. Like, if I was rich, I would want a beach house in Daytona. It's cool just to be able to go to the beach whenever you want and watch the sunsets. That was one of my favorite experiences living down here, is watching the sunset on the beach. For the first time in my life, I actually got to go to Universal Studios in Disney World, and that was amazing. That was really cool. And I'm sad I didn't get to go to the other parks while I was down here, but we went to Islands of Adventure at Universal, and then not Planet Hollywood. I did go there too. That was a cool restaurant. Hollywood's, whatever the Disney one, that's like Hollywood, it's the Hollywood Studios. That don't sound right, but went to that park with Star Wars. That was amazing. Like, that's a once in a lifetime experience. Just getting to see that, that was the best time of my life. Like, you really can just get lost and you feel like a kid again when you're at Disney. And also, this Toy Story was so cute. Getting to see the aliens and Slinky, that was amazing. And eating at it was that restaurant that was cute with all the like oversized toys there. I worked at IKEA when living down here. I worked there for about 6 months, and it was the first time I ever been to IKEA, because there's not one in Kentucky. Like, the nearest one is Ohio, and I just never went to it, but I always wanted to go to one, and ironically I got a job there, and that was pretty cool to experience that. And their Swedish meatballs are amazing. Well, I ate the veggie meatballs, and that was really cool to experience IKEA, because going to one for the first time, it's a whole experience. So that was really neat. And what I love about Florida is they, at least in Orlando, they have a lot of big malls. Out of the that I know of. There's the Mall in Millennia that was near IKEA. I never went to it, and I wish I did. And ironically, I worked during Black Friday, and that was a nightmare. That was a complete nightmare. It was like 2 hours for me to get to IKEA. I was so late. They were so mad at me. But I was like, in Kentucky, Black Friday, it ain't like this. That was insane. Also, there's the Florida Mall, which is really cool, and they have like a bar in the center of it, just like a stool bar. That was pretty neat. And they have Uniqlo, which I love that store. So that was the first time I've seen a store in a mall. And then I've been to several times the Ultimate Mall, which is my favorite because that's the one closest to me. And that one's fun because that was the first time I ever been to a 2-story mall. And I thought that was like the best thing ever. And they have a crystal shop in there where I've gotten my crystals and I love it there. So that's a pretty neat mall. And I like the Barnes & Noble that they have. And they have some cool, there's like a Japanese store in there, or a store that sells Japanese products, which that's pretty cool. Because that's on my list of places I want to travel is Japan. But there's so much to do down here. And a big place I want to go, that's on my bucket list that I will have to go to when I come back is, I think it's Casa Grande. It's a whole like little town that specializes in like witchcraft. There's a lot of cool lore here when it comes to just like creatures and ghost stories that I want to come back sometime and explore that. That would be lots of fun because I love cryptids. That's one of my favorite things. And of course the skunk ape's down here. I didn't get to see him. I wish I did. I'd say a thing I hate about Florida is all the highways are tolled, and that's new to me because in Kentucky we don't have tolled highways. And that's another thing that sucks with why I didn't travel a lot is those tolls rack up. And if you're going back and forth to work or traveling, like, and it's also what's messed up is you could charge multiple times while on the same highway, and it's really scammy. It's kind of like, it's sick because they do it because of tourists, but it's like, it is really scummy. Like, yeah, you can buy a pass, but still, it's just kind of fucked up to me, considering I come from a state where it's not, we have a toll bridge, but most people just avoid the toll bridge. But that's it. No, the whole place is like a toll bridge. Like, that's another thing that sucks why I don't travel a lot, because I ain't trying to rack up on tolls. Also, my biggest reason why I would never live in Florida is they are not LGBT friendly. And that's a huge part of who I am because I am a trans woman and I don't want to have to worry about my safety. And in Florida, there's literally don't say gay. If I get caught using the female's bathroom at a government-owned building, I can go to jail. And also, this happened like as soon as we moved down here, but they covered up the post-shooting. Like, there was a big memorial for all that, and they just covered it up. But Kentucky and Louisville have a huge queer community. There's tons of queer bars. We have a parade. We have a whole Kentucky Pride, like Chaperone went. I was there. I can't live in Florida. I can't do that. I am so happy to go back to Kentucky because I feel more safe there. And I need to know people in my community are safe. Florida is beautiful on the outside, ugly on the inside. Like, the environment is beautiful. The animals, the beaches, the plants. But then the people are ugly. And it breaks my heart because Florida is somewhere I always wanted to live. Back when I was 19, I was trying to come to school in Orlando. And I'm happy. I think everything worked out that I did not come here for university, because I would have hated it. I would have hated, and it's just, that's a part of, and that's the big reason why I don't like Florida. Florida would be a place for me to vacation. I want to come back for Disney. I want to come back for Universal. And I want to come back for the beaches. But this would not be a place of living for me. I will say, the one thing I will miss is I have made some friends down here. And I will miss those people. I am happy to get out of this state as soon as possible and to be living back in Kentucky. This is my final look. Thank you for listening to me ramble. If you liked my video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment for suggestions on future videos. And subscribe to stay tuned for more videos coming. And I will see y'all later. Thank you for watching. Bye.